Stop them! Time has come for our final move. They're Autons!
Who the heck are you?
I am usually referred to as the Master. Death is always more frightening when it strikes invisibly.
So hello and welcome everybody to the 50 review, and as you can see it's a bit of a change that I'm not doing the New Adventures of Bernard Summerfield because that, and I've tried to record it 3 times on Tuesday and it just didn't want to, it played up and it could not process, and I didn't want to record it for a 4th time and I was really irritated, so I decided to review something else. And what I'm reviewing is the Mannequin Mania box set. Why do you ask I'm reviewing this? Because this is the first Doctor Who DVD I started off in my collection. If you remember, way back in my first ever showcase video, it was featured in that, and this is the first DVD I actually purchased, so why not show this one off? So if you want to skip to my thoughts and opinions on both the stories, there are the times. Again, it still baffles me that I've done 50 reviews in under a year. I think that's a great achievement. So let's have a look at the box art, and again the box art screams full of life as well, with the introduction from one of the stories, Roger Delgado, just a fantastic actor, and both these stories feature the Autons, which I do find very underused monsters because they only appeared once in the new series. Well, one true story in a new series, which was the first ever episode, Rose. But enough about that, we're going to go straight to the Mannequin Mania box set. This box set contains a Spearhead from Space and Terror of the Autons, and it's a 2-disc set. The third Doctor must face terrifying plastic Autons and the evil Master in these 2 classic 1970s adventures. It is a PG, and it contains mild violence, horror, languages and sex references, and it's 199 minutes approx by adding both times to both the stories. So the first story, we'll be taking a look at the introduction of a fantastic Doctor, Jon Pertwee, which is known as Spearhead from Space. So here we have Spearhead from Space, and this is a special edition. If you get this box set, you get the special edition of it. Again, with the cover art, it is full of life, again with the Autons down here with that Nestine drop. I forgot what they're called, but I'm just going to call it a Nestine asteroid. And we have the planet Earth down by here. We have Jon Pertwee and his shore with the very creepy and very sinister Channing and the Brigadier, and with the Auton as well. It is a PG and then nice purple, they're all featured in purple, and Spearhead from Space does like a bit of purple by there, so it's a very basic bland side. And with the back, and this is what I say is the start of the Robert Holmes golden era, because it does start with his 2 stories, the Crotons and the Space Pirates, but let's just not think about them when we're talking about the Robert Holmes era, because he's written some of the best stories ever in Doctor Who, and I think this is where it begins that journey. So, Exile. The Time Lords have banished the newly regenerated Doctor to Earth because it features right after the War Games. But the Doctor isn't the only alien to have arrived, as a swarm of meteorites have crashed into the sleepy English countryside, bringing with them a terrible new threat to mankind. As the Nestine plan takes shape, Unit, the Doctor and his newly appointed scientific advisor Liz Shaw race against the time to stop humanity being replaced by the terrifying plastic Phasmile race, the Autons, or the Nestine. So the special features, there is jam-packed with brilliant special features. We have a commentary 1 by Nicholas Courtney and Caroline John. We have commentary 2 by the producer and the script editor. Down to Earth, the cast and crew look back at the making of the story with some of the main characters featured in the story. Regeneration from black and white to colour, a documentary looking about the challenges for Doctor Who in 1970 as it moved to colour. Unit recruitment film, a spoof of the Army recruitment film from 1993. Trailers, radio times listening, production subtitles, photo guide, the coming soon trailer, Easter egg, and digital master picture and sound quality. The story was originally broadcast on BBC One to the 3rd to the 24th of January 1970, produced by Derek Sewin, and directed by Derek Mantenis, and it is a cover by Clayton Hickman. Again, brilliant cover as always. He always brilliant covers. Feature length 96 minutes long, and could get general viewing, but some scenes may be unsuitable for even children. Now we have the booklet and the disc, which are both the exact same as the front cover, even though I'm a little bit piggish and I do like variety with the booklet and the disc sometimes. And they are the characters featured in the commentaries, with commentary 1 and commentary 2 and the special features, and it is a 4-parter. So my overall thoughts and opinions on Spearhead from Space. If I am honest, it is an absolutely essential story which every Doctor Who fan must see, because everyone loves Jon Pertwee in some way, shape or form. He is a fantastic Doctor, and he is definitely one of my favourite Doctors. He's my second favourite Doctor to be precise, but he is still reigning very close to first position, but I just prefer Patrick Troughton more. But nevertheless, Jon Pertwee is fantastic. Best performances in this story. He's just absolutely amazing. As well, obviously all the other characters, they're all written fantastically, and every single character plays a fantastic performance, and there's not a single character which doesn't play bad performances. They are all on top performances. Their acting's brilliant, they're written and the story brilliant, so because everyone knows Robert Holmes is a fantastic writer, and he always makes his writing absolutely golden and professional. Now I'm going to talk about one of the main enemy of Channing. Again, very sinister, very devious villain, and he was really good to play a role as the enemy of the Nestine. Channing is just a fantastic villain, and yeah, as I said, a really devious villain, and he is very creepy in some places, I gotta admit. Now with the Autons in this, the Autons are definitely at their best here. I gotta say in the other story, they're not really featured that well because they wanted to focus more on the Master, but this one they focused more on the Autons because this was their introduction story, and they had some fantastic scenes in it. Again, I think it was filmed in the same place of the Invasion where the unit fighted the Cybermen. I think it was the same place where they fighted the Autons in it. Again, some battle scenes in it, great comedy elements in it as well, and it's just a fantastic, brilliant Jon Pertwee story, and it is featured in one of the best seasons of all time, known as Season 7, which featured some classic, they're all fantastic stories, and this is my third favourite story from Season 7. Don't get me wrong, they're all brilliant, they are, and probably the top is Inferno, but this is definitely, they're all good stories, and this one is definitely an essential story to watch, and I would rate it a 9 out of 10. A brilliant classic Pertwee. It's definitely I think it is in my top 5 if I can remember. It's definitely entering my top 5 Pertwees, and it's just essential to watch this Pertwee. That's all I can say. It has great special features, a great story, and I think everyone can enjoy this story if you want to get into Classic Who or Doctor Who in general. It's just absolutely fantastic. So let's move on to the next story, Terror of the Autons. Now here we have Terror of the Autons. We can see this is the introduction of the Master, Roger Delgado, the best Master we're ever going to get, because he is just so devious and such a great actor to play a villain. He's appeared in a lot of TV shows which I really like The Avengers for example, and he will always reign as one of my favourite actors of all time. And with the cover we have Jon Pertwee, we have the transport van where they travel the Autons. We have Katie Manning, one of my favourite companions of all time. So we have the flower, and we have the Autons with those weird masks, which I'm not really a big fan of those masks, if I'm brutally honest. There's the side, there's a little bit of purple light by there where it goes to the cover, and the back. And again, written by Robert Holmes, the Golden Writer. Now for the blurb. The Doctor is still trapped on Earth and unable to use the TARDIS, but the Time Lords are looking out for him. They send a warning that the Master has arrived, and the Doctor soon discovers that the evil Time Lord is working alongside the Nestine consciousness, controlled of lethal Auton creatures. Once again, the planet is in terrible danger. Can the Doctor and his new assistant Jill Grant save it before it's too late, and the true terror of the Autons is revealed? And again, the Doctor is still trapped, exile on Earth, and he's trapped for a long time on Earth. and it takes forever to actually go to an alien planet since Colony of Space, so that's a very long time. And this is in one of my favourite seasons again, Season 8. Now with the special features, we have the commentary with some of the characters featured in the story, along with the producer and the director. Life on Earth, actors Katie Mann and Richard Franklin recounts the production of Terror of the Autons with the help of John Pertwee, and the script editor Terrence Dix and the producer Barry Letts, alongside with the new series producer Phil Collinson. The Doctor, I can't really say that word with my accent, so I'm not going to give it a go because it sounds ridiculous. A look at one of the Doctor's oldest enemies, the Master, plastic fantastic, how the Doctor's writers of the Doctor Who take something as everyday as plastic as it turns against us. Really times listening, promotional material, production subtitles, production information subtitles, a photogrammetry coming soon trailer, and digital master picture and sound quality. The story was originally broadcast on BBC One between the 2nd to the 25th of January 1971. Oh yeah, it actually is produced and directed by Barry Letts. And cover, Clayton Hickman. And feature length is 95 minutes and contains general viewing, but some scenes may be unsuitable for even children. So there are the innards. Again, not a lot of variety with the booklet and the disc. And these are the characters featured in the commentary: Katie Manning, Nicholas Courtney, and Barry Letts, the producer and the director of it. And the special features, which I've just gone over. And it is a 4-parter. So to overall thoughts and opinions on the Terror of the Autons. Again, a brilliant story. One of my favourite seasons of all time. Again, Season 8, which features Terror of the Autons, Mind of Evil, Claws of Axos, the alright Colony in Space, this is the one downfall, and the classic The Daemons. And Terror of the Autons, it isn't my favourite from that season, it's probably the Mind of Evil, and second goes to The Daemons, but third reign in this one. But Terror of the Autons is still a classic story. It's not as good as Spearhead from Space, because the Autons, you know, they don't get as much screen time, because as I said, it's mostly focusing on the Master. And so we'll talk about the Master first, Roger Delgado. As I said thousands of times, he is the best Master, and he will always remain at that. He's just so devious, he is, and he acts around the other actors fantastically, or the other characters fantastically, such as Katie Manning and the Doctor, for example, as well as the Autons. And you can see he's the one who's supreme, and he's the one who's having all the power, and he doesn't really care about the Autons at all. He just wants to see destruction and death, and that's how you explain the Master. And again, all the characters are on fantastic performances as well. The introduction of one of my favourite companions, Katie Manning, and again, a bit clumsy sometimes, you know, a bit like Victoria Waterfield clumsiness, but not as bad. But as the season goes through, she is really good, and when I get to the Mind of Evil, like, she can actually hold a sidearm, a firearm, and she becomes a very good companion throughout. And I always love Katie Manning. She is a fantastic companion. And yeah, the Autons, they are good in it. I hate their costumes, I do. I just hate them wearing them. They're not the classic Autons, I would call them, but they are still good. They still have alright screen time. I just wish they had a bit more, but I can see they wanted to make Season 8 more about the Master more than anything else. Even though in the Mind of Evil machine was shown more than the Master, had more screen time in, but it was just his introduction, so they wanted to focus more on him. And Terror of the Autons, I would rate it an 8 out of 10. A great story. I really enjoy it, and I know a lot of people enjoy this story as well, but personal opinion, Spearhead from Space is a lot better, and I think it's more essential story to watch than Terror of the Autons, but it's still a classic story which I would say everyone needs to watch anyway. So, thank you very much for watching the 50th review, even though it's not really anything special for a 50th review. Maybe special in my eyes, but not really in your eyes, because this is just the first Doctor Who DVD I got in my collection, so that's why it's only special to me. And if I rate this as a whole, it will probably be, I'm just gonna rate this a 10, because I think this is absolutely essential to any Doctor Who fan to be in their collection, because they're both great stories. And the Autons, are probably at their best here, rather than Rose. I think they weren't really good in Rose, but these ones, they have great action scenes. Autons actually run in this, especially in Spearhead from Space, and they're really slow in Rose. They just walked around really slowly, but at least this one got some speed in this, and they actually ran really fast, and that's quite creepy seeing an Auton run at you and completely kill you. I think that'd be quite creepy actually. But Mannequin Mania is essential in my opinion. So now I'll just tell you some upcoming reviews are coming up. I will be reviewing Revisitation 3, Marco Polo and the King of Santa are the next reviews which are upcoming. So I'll stay tuned for them, and thank you very much for watching the review of Mannequin Mania for the 50th review. So take care everybody.